365 Days of Horsemanship, day 91. A little bit more rested today, had the day off, so that was nice. And came up, it was quite, I suppose it was quite a quick session today. I think I need to get out of the habit of assessing or evaluating my sessions, hi buddy, based on the chronological length. I think I'm definitely at the moment really, I think, doing a lot of personal growth within my horsemanship journey. I came up today and I am still reading my Reiner Klimke book, Basic Training of the Young Horse. And I read for about 20 minutes today, and the subject matters were largely to do, let me just move that up. And the subject matters were largely to do with different aids for different aspects of basic training. And I think for me, what I didn't realize is how early lateral work comes in. We talked about, he talked about leg yield and a couple of exercises for leg yield. Then we talked about bending and circles, and finally talked about half halt. And it was interesting to me that the half halt and the halt had come after all of these other aids. And I thought that was a really interesting thing, because I think we often, for safety reasons, or because we want to feel like we have control, or we want to feel like that we have that emergency button. I think a lot of us definitely focus on the whoa, as opposed to the go. And so that was interesting. I think one of the things that I really took from it, firstly, was that all of these aids, it was so interesting, and actually it has really good diagrams. I think I'm going to make myself like a little flashcard book just with the diagrams, so then if I'm riding, I can literally just look in my pocket and there'll be like a diagram of how the aids are supposed to look, because I think that'll be really useful. But I definitely noticed, I think, the difference between theoretical learning and practical memory, because I'm going to read this book and I'm going to understand everything that's in it, but then actually creating that real life feeling is really different. And I think that's definitely something that has been a problem in my horsemanship journey so far. I came up today and I started with Lawrence, and just a little bit of massaging, a little bit of snoozing. It's quite hot today. He was quite itchy, so, a little bit of this and that. And then we worked on the haltering, and the haltering is improved, definitely. I did some little experiments today where I held the halter there until he stopped being curious, and instead of feeling the need to leave, now he can just stop feeling curious in the same place. And it's not like, the concern is not so much that he feels the need to like move away from it. So that's really good. I didn't want to do it too many times, because obviously I want him to still remain curious, and I've got this far by taking it away while he's still curious to breed that curiosity. But it was really good just to kind of do a little test, see where we're at, see that he actually was able to have it around, and he definitely is now understanding the game for sure. And if I offer him the halter and he doesn't take it, and then I walk around to the other side and offer him the other side, it's like very quick, like maybe 1 or 2 offers before he's like, oh, she just wants me to touch the halter. Like if I touch the halter, Lucy will stand still and be in flow with me. So that's really good. I definitely felt like that was some progress. I think Lawrence could have had longer with me today. I think I'm just, maybe the time is right for me to prioritize myself and my own bandwidth. Like I feel like in some ways I've gone back to my original rules that I made. Hi buddy. I know, well I would like to itch you too, but I'm doing a video for everybody. You see them all? Yes. That's all the people on YouTube. We're gonna say hey. There we go. Couldn't really duck very well there. Normally my ducking is better. Yes, I definitely feel like my original rules that I made not that long after I started this project, which was that we work within everybody's bandwidth and it's a positive experience. And I think those first few weeks, the limiting factors were the horses mostly, because it was either the horses or it was like literally my time, because there was only so much that I could do with the horses before I would bring up concern, or we would get stressed, or I'd make the wrong choice, and there wasn't a lot of things we could do at that time. Whereas now I think Lawrence is interested, he feels like he could have more of me. And I think that's a really good place to be. I don't think that today I had anything more. I could have, I guess, maybe played with the yields. Maybe that would have been a good thing to do. And maybe tomorrow I will come and I will try and stretch myself to do that as well. I didn't really think of it. And I think when I run out of ideas, I don't kind of want to stand there and get into a bad spot. So once I feel like I've got that good place, then I want to kind of leave it. And definitely I'm doing so much like introspection at the moment, and so much like inner processing of where I am and where I'm going and where I've been and what the future holds and what I'm doing now and what I should be doing now, or if I even should have things that I think I should be doing now. And I think it's just really important for me that I feel successful at the moment. Definitely coming and having these sessions with the horses and me feeling successful is currently the most important limiting factor, I think. And I think that for me at this place in my journey, it's just really important that I don't overstretch myself in the same way that I don't overstretch the horses. Because if I come and I say, oh, well, you didn't stay long enough, you didn't do this, you didn't do that, you could have done yields, you could have played with this, you could have, and the thing is, I think as well, is because of the things that I'm playing with, if I took a different mindset and a different approach, I could put that halter on, I could go in the school and I could do half an hour in the school every day with him now, with Lawrence. And so there's this, I think, feeling of uncertainty that I'm following the right path, but also that gut feeling that tells me that I am. And whilst I'm making all these decisions and trying to work out where I'm going with everything, I definitely need to feel successful. And for me, that means being hi, buddy. Yeah, I know. It's so nice that you've come over here again to see me. Yeah, I can give you a little scratch. What's that? Yeah, it's really important for me that I feel successful. And as you can see, Lawrence is way more interested in me now than he ever used to be, and that's really great. So things are improving and I do feel successful. I went and spent some time with Mia. Initially, she wasn't really that interested in me, and after you want your bum scratched, okay. Yeah, she looked up at me when I came in, which she does every time now, which is great because, I didn't really used to get that, whereas now she's interested as soon as I come in, and then she's, she's off doing her own thing. She's grazing, and I just grazed with her, and actually I'm finding that she actually quite enjoys the touching distance, which is nice. I think it must be quite hard for her to want to be that distance and not feel safe, because with me, like she's even more happy than Lawrence is. Like Lawrence likes to be close, but he doesn't really like to be touching. He'll do it, but not for very long. He'll get irritated quickly. He'll want me to move on quickly. Whereas Mia, like, I can like just almost zone out, like can just be there with her with my hand on her hindquarters or across her back in the middle or on her shoulder, and she's just quite happy with me just there right next to her, touching her and just grazing together and looking around. And so that's nice.